This is the plaintiff, Letitia Jenkins. She says the defendant's crazed dog attacked her dog, Jalen, bit him in the eye, and now she's having one heck of a time getting the defendant to reimburse her for the vet bills. She can't believe the defendant's actually trying to get out of paying her back, and that's why she's suing the ignorant and rude woman here and now for $653, the money she's owed. This is the defendant, Patricia Saunders. She says there's no evidence her dog attacked the plaintiff's dog. No marks, no blood, no nothing. The woman's trying to get money out of her. There's no merit to this lawsuit, and she thinks the judge is going to agree with her wholeheartedly. She's accused of letting her dog get loose.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant's dog attacked her pooch, biting him in the eye. But the defendant says there were no marks or blood, so it's a big scam. It's the case of an eye for an eye.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Letitia Jenkins, you are suing Patricia Saunders for $653 in vet bills for injuries you say her dog did to your dog.
Yes.
What happened?
On December 16th, my son and I were walking my dog down Lawrence Avenue, and as I was approaching Miss Saunders' house, I noticed her dog in the yard by itself, and nobody was there.
And no fence?
No, it's like a partial fence, like part of it is out.
But it's not enclosed?
It's not enclosed.
Okay, and did you know Ms. Saunders?
No, just
Okay.
seeing her.
Did you
as
know
I
the dog? Like, had you seen the dog? Okay, so you see a dog out on a front lawn with no leash, and what happens?
What happened, her dog came running out the yard and jumped on my dog and just was like wagging my dog, like wagging his head.
So, what do you mean wagging your dog?
You know, like pulling at his head, like, you know, like
she had
shaking
clamped
him.
down her dog?
Down.
Is your dog a he or a she? Ma'am?
Ma'am.
Ms. Saunders,
Girl.
is your dog?
She.
Okay, so she had clamped down
on my dog.
on your dog somewhere in the head.
Yeah.
And was shaking back and forth?
Yeah, and I was screaming, you know, trying to, you know, for somebody to help me or somebody to help me pull him apart or something, because her dog is much bigger than my dog.
Okay.
And I don't know how much time went by. Then Miss Saunders come running out eventually, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. She didn't even know.
What was the dog doing out without a leash?
My dog darted out the house, and when we came in,
Who did what wrong? I mean, it's not, the dog's not supposed to be outside without a leash.
she was inside her yard, and I was getting her.
The problem with, is your yard enclosed?
No, it's not.
Okay, then here's what might happen with an animal if you don't have the animal on a leash, is they may run up to a dog that's enticing to them. That's what they do. That is their nature. So you can't say, well, she was on her yard. I mean, that's, you know, obviously she got off her yard, but it doesn't even matter.
She didn't leave the yard.
It's not, the dog is totally cool. It's the human behavior that the law looks at. The dog was being a dog. It's the human who's not supposed to have the dog loose. The dog was loose. Why?
Okay, so the backyard's unenclosed. The dog attacks. Does the defendant have a defense here?
Yes.
What?
Well, if someone attacked my dog, I'd be very angry.
Oh, no, I get that. But the question is, if there's a fence, if there's not a fence, is the defendant responsible?
Yes, of course.
If there's not a fence, is the defendant responsible?
Well, not really. If he might be poor, then like he might not even have enough to buy a fence.
Oh, I got really sad going inside the courtroom.
When we came home from work that day, my sister-in-law opened up the door, and the dog darted past her. When she darted past her, she walked down the stairs and went right straight to the front door. And when she saw another dog in the yard, she yelled to me, and I came. And once I came, I yelled to my dog, and she came back immediately.
Did you witness the dog doing the
No, we never
Animal
saw my
Kingdom
dog
thing?
on her dog.
Okay, so you came out, and your dog was doing what when you came out?
My dog was in my yard behind my car, and I said, Ginger, and she immediately ran back to me.
Okay. So I guess it was all over by the time she came out, or are you saying she's lying because she did witness it?
She's lying because she was nowhere near. She told me she was inside getting her dog's sweater, so I don't know really how she could see the dog.
No,
she says when she came out, it was all over. She didn't see anything.
Her dog, no, she called her dog, and her dog came to her
Right.
From off my,
Did she witness any of the?
No, she
Okay.
wasn't there. Nobody was outside with the dog.
Okay, so how about her? Is that the sister-in-law?
Yeah, my sister-in-law
How about
was
was the
standing at the
sister-in-law
door.
out there?
She was standing at the doorway watching Ginger in the yard.
You
and
didn't
that's
see
what
her.
she yelled
I didn't
to
All
me.
see
right.
her
So
sister-in-law.
now, what did you do?
I then
after
picked
this?
my dog up after she came out, and she was very apologetic, you know, saying that she was sorry. She just ran inside real quick to get the dog's sweater. And, you know, I'm showing her that my dog's eye had like a scratch on. It was like blood on his fur. He had his little jacket on, so I didn't really know what full damage the dog had until I got home. But
And
I
then
did
you
show
got home
her.
and what?
I got home. I took the dog. The dog was crying. I was like, well, what's going on? Like, I took his jacket off. I examined him. I noticed he had a gash in the back of his, like on the side of his neck. And, you know, he just kept crying. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do.
Can you give me all of your vet reports, please? Was there just one vet?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Originally, when she came to the house and told me that my dog attacked her dog, she said she was holding her dog in her arms, and she showed me the dog's face. She said, went home already. She was already with the dog. Maybe 2 hours later, she came back to my house, and she said, look what your dog did. And she's showing me that my dog scratched, I think it was the right eye.
Right. The medical report actually does say puncture wound left neck, luckily very small, slight bleeding noted, above right eye, very superficial abrasion, IV fluids, IV antibiotics, x-rays. That's the obligatory vet screens, CBCs to lab, clipped and cleaned left neck wound.
When she showed me her dog, the injury, supposedly,
What's your defense?
She was home. I didn't have a problem with paying her, but the bill was extremely high. And originally, she showed me an eye, so I go to bed that night thinking it's just a scratch or something like that, and maybe I'll pay $100, $150. But when she brought the bill to my husband the next day and gave it to my husband, it was for $653 for all of this extra stuff. And the bill that she gave me didn't explain anything. She never told me until the next day. She said, oh, and then she showed me a picture in her cell phone of her dog's wounds on the back. She never said anything about a wound on the dog's back. The only thing that I saw...
Back or neck?
I don't know. She just showed me a picture.
It's the neck and the eye. I have the vet bills, and I have the vet report.
I never saw any blood. I never saw anything. It was, my dog's mouth is white.
Right,
so
but
I didn't see anything on my
but
dog.
what do you think? What is your defense? Your defense is the vet bill's too high?
Yes. Because from the beginning, I told her I did apologize because my dog was not on a leash in her own yard. But I didn't see what happened.
Were you on her yard?
No, ma'am.
Where did the attack happen?
In
on
my
the
yard.
sidewalk.
On the sidewalk?
In my yard.
Her dog
Okay,
darted
yeah, what
out.
do you think is, you weren't there, so you didn't see it, so how do you say that it happened in your yard?
My sister-in-law was at the front door.
You tell me, come on up, honey, because I want to know how the dog with the leash goes over on the leash to the lawn where the other sentinel is just standing there calmly but being messed with. Tell me all about it.
No, they fences like this. When I looked out, I said, Trisha, there's a dog out there, right? Because next door.
Why didn't you just go get the dog?
Because I don't mess with dogs. I don't.
And why was
really
Trisha? Who
scared
brought
of
the
dogs.
dog out?
She ran out the house.
Who opened the door so that the dog could run out of the house?
Me.
Okay, you didn't notice that the dog was coming out?
No.
What's the point of the fence if it doesn't go all the way?
We're getting a no fence put
Oh,
up.
you're getting the moving one for the driveway? You know, it's interesting because what you're entitled to in court are reasonable expenses as a result of the negligence of the defendant. And there's clearly negligence on the part of the defendant. The dog can't be loose because this is the kind of thing that happens when dogs are loose. Her complaint is, well, the bill's too high. It's not a reasonable, foreseeable expense because the injury was so minor that
the injury was
boy,
minor, but they was
I gotta say, they did kind of. I mean,
you know why? Because it was a
Packed
24-hour vet. It was not. It was after.
What time did it
hours.
happen?
It happened after 6, and the regular.
Is that accurate that it happened after 6?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a problem.
I thought it was high
I'm
too.
going to order the defendant to pay the vet bill. $653. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, hold on.
So the defendant comes out of here. The plaintiff has just sued and won for everything she sued for against you.
I didn't think it was fair
Why not?
because the extreme amount of the vet bill.
Well, the after hours.
The after hours,
You know,
before
if your
hours.
dog's going to bite someone, it's got to bite someone during regular business hours if you want to be sued for less money.
Okay.
Right? All right, so how are we going to make sure this is never going to happen again?
Oh, we don't let her go run out the house anymore.
You don't but...
We don't let her run out the house anymore. She's an older dog. She doesn't do it often. So we don't let her go out the house like that anymore.
All right, okay, get that fence finished. Right down there. All right, so come on in here anytime. Come on. All right. Satisfied with what you got? I guess you got everything,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Really? How about the way they treated you here? Why did this have to go all the way to court?
I guess she felt the bill was too high. I thought it was high myself, but it's the point of 24-hour vets. They charge whatever they like, I guess.
How shocking was it to you when you saw the injuries?
I mean, the injuries weren't really that bad, you know, like the judge said, but it happened.
Okay, Harvey.
Okay, here's the deal about the leash law. If the dog is not restrained, either by a fence or whatnot, and the dog gets out, the owner is responsible. By the way, it doesn't matter if you're poor or not, sorry.